imagine landing in Rome. You've got the pasta reservations, the hotel with the view, and the itinerary perfectly planned. You grab your checked bag off the carousel. It looks fine. But when you get to the hotel and unzip that side pocket to grab your blood pressure medication or your ADHD prescription, it's gone. The bottle isn't there. You didn't lose it. It wasn't misplaced by the airline. It was targeted. You see, most travelers think airport security scanners are just looking for bombs and guns. And you're right, they are. But those same high-definition CT scanners that keep us safe also paint a crystal-clear picture of everything inside your luggage. To a trained eye, or an unscrupulous baggage handler looking for a quick score, a bottle of pills glows on that screen like a neon sign. And if you put that bottle in your checked luggage, you practically handed it to them. I'm Kaka, and welcome to Cost Kaka. I've spent the last 15 years consulting on travel risk management and aviation logistics. I've seen the back end of baggage handling systems from JFK to Heathrow, and I know exactly where the blind spots are. Here is the hard truth that airlines don't put on the ticket. Once your bag goes behind those rubber flaps at the check-in counter, it enters a massive, automated labyrinth. For a significant portion of that journey, specifically during the loading and unloading phase, your bag is handled by humans in areas with limited camera coverage. If your medication is in your checked bag, you are playing Russian roulette with your health. But it gets worse. The title of this video mentioned a 90% theft risk. That isn't clickbait. When we look at statistics regarding items stolen from luggage, high-value electronics and cash are up there, but prescription medications are rapidly becoming the #1 target. Why? Because they have street value, they are untraceable, and unlike an iPad, they can't be bricked remotely. If you are carrying opioids, stimulants, or even high-end antibiotics, you aren't just packing toiletries, you are packing currency. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Kaka, I get it. I'll just put a lock on my zipper. I hate to burst your bubble, but a TSA-approved lock is useful for keeping your zipper closed, not for keeping people out. I can open a zippered suitcase with a standard ballpoint pen, rummage through it, and reseal it without any evidence of tampering in less than 10 seconds. It's a parlor trick that every baggage thief knows. If your pills are sitting right on top, or worse, in that convenient mesh zippered pocket on the lid of your suitcase, you are making it incredibly easy for them. And this leads us to the biggest misconception people have about travel insurance. Most people assume that if their meds get stolen, they can just walk into a pharmacy in Paris or Tokyo and get a refill. This is a dangerous assumption. In the United States, we have a very specific pharmaceutical ecosystem. What you get over the counter here might be a controlled substance in Japan. Your prescription from a doctor in Ohio holds zero legal weight in Dubai. If your medication disappears, you aren't just inconvenienced. You are now navigating a foreign healthcare system, potentially in a language you don't speak, trying to convince a doctor you aren't a drug seeker. I've had clients spend 3 days of a 7-day vacation sitting in emergency rooms just to get a basic refill because they trusted their checked bag. But here is the kicker, and this is where the 90% risk really comes into play. It's not just about the checked bag you plan to check. It's about the bag you are forced to check. We've all been there. You're at the gate, boarding group 4, and the agent gets on the PA system. The flight is completely full. we are running out of overhead bin space. They start aggressive gate checking. They take your carry-on, slap a tag on it, and throw it into the belly of the plane. If you leave your medication in that carry-on when you hand it over at the gate, you have just moved your meds from the safest place, your possession, to the most dangerous place, unsupervised cargo. Gate-checked bags often bypass the deep security screening of regular checked luggage, but they are handled by the same ground crews, often in a rush, often in the dark. It is the perfect storm for opportunity theft. So, we've established that the belly of the plane is a black hole for medication. You know never to check it voluntarily. You know to watch out for forced gate checking. But simply keeping the pills in your backpack isn't enough, especially if you are traveling internationally. There is a specific way you need to organize, label, and carry these items to avoid not just theft, but getting flagged by customs as a smuggler. Because believe it or not, trying to protect your meds by hiding them too well can actually land you in a scary interrogation room. You need to know the 3-layer defense system for packing medical kits. It's the exact protocol diplomats and high-net-worth individuals use when they travel. I'm going to break down exactly what that system looks like, and the specific type of container you need to buy, which costs less than $10, to ensure your health arrives at the destination with you. But before I hand you the blueprint, I need to stop you from making the single most common packing mistake. It's a mistake I see seasoned travelers make constantly, and it's one that turns a theft issue into a legal nightmare. I'm talking about the Monday through Sunday plastic pill organizer. You know the one. It's convenient. It saves space. It keeps you on schedule. But if you are flying internationally, that plastic box is a red flag waving in the face of a customs officer. Here is the scenario. You land in Singapore or the UAE, places with zero-tolerance drug laws. A customs officer pulls you aside for a random check. They open your bag and find a plastic container filled with assorted blue, white, and yellow pills with absolutely no labels, no lot numbers, and no names. To you, that's your blood pressure meds and a multivitamin. To them, that is unidentified loose contraband. I have seen people detained for hours while officials test every single pill to prove it isn't ecstasy or amphetamines. Best case scenario? They confiscate your medication and throw it in the trash. Worst case? You miss your connecting flight or face a massive fine. This brings us to layer 1 of the defense system, the holy grail of original packaging. This hurts for the minimalists out there, but you have to suck it up. Never, ever take pills out of the original pharmacy bottles when you fly. You need the label with your name, the doctor's name, and the dosage clearly printed. If you are tight on space, ask your pharmacist to print you an extra label and stick it on a smaller Ziploc bag, or ask them for a travel size bottle. But the golden rule is, if the label doesn't match your passport, it doesn't fly. Now, let's move to layer 2, the underseat mandate. Remember how I told you about the forced gate check? The moment they take your roller bag at the gate, your control over it is gone. This is why your medication must never live in your rollerboard carry-on. It belongs in one specific place, your personal item. I'm talking about the backpack, tote, or messenger bag that slides under the seat in front of you. That bag never leaves your sight. It is physically attached to you while you sleep in the terminal. It is between your feet during the flight. If the flight attendants force you to check your carry-on, you smile, hand it over, and sit down knowing your life-saving meds are tucked under your feet. But you can't just throw the bottles loosely into the bottom of that backpack. That's a mess waiting to happen. This is where that under $10 container comes in. Don't buy a fancy, leather medical kit. Don't buy a lockbox. You want a clear, heavy-duty, reinforced packing cube or a high-quality transparent toiletry bag. Why clear? Because when you go through TSA, you want to project total transparency. If a screener sees a dark, opaque bulky mass in your bag on the X-ray, they are going to pull it out and open it. That exposes your meds to the dirty airport air, dirty gloves, and prying eyes. If your meds are in a crystal clear pouch, the screener can see exactly what they are, pharmacy bottles, without ever touching them. It speeds up your processing time and keeps your meds sanitary. And here is a pro tip that nobody talks about: the decoy buffer. If you are carrying something highly targeted, like Adderall or OxyContin, put that clear pouch at the very bottom of your personal item. On top of it, pack your noise-canceling headphones, a bulky hoodie, and your snack bag. Thieves are lazy. They are looking for the grab and go. They want to unzip a pocket and slide something out. If they have to dig past your dirty gym socks and a half-eaten sandwich to get to your pill pouch, they usually won't bother. Now for layer 3, the paper trail. This is your get-out-of-jail-free card. Most people carry the pills but forget the proof. If you are traveling with controlled substances, you need a letter from your doctor. It doesn't need to be a novel. Just a simple note on letterhead saying, "John Doe is under my care and is prescribed this medication for this condition." If you are going somewhere where English isn't the primary language, run that note through a translation app and print a copy in the local language. I once had a client stopped in Japan for bringing in a stimulant that is strictly banned there, even with a prescription. Because he had pre-filled the paperwork and had his doctor's note, he walked through. The guy behind him, who tried to sneak it in, got deported. But there is still one massive vulnerability we haven't covered. What happens when your medication isn't a solid pill? What if it's a liquid that exceeds the 3-4-ounce rule? Or arguably worse, what if it requires refrigeration and you have a 14-hour flight? The TSA rules for liquid medications are completely different from your shampoo, and getting this wrong leads to the most heartbreaking thing I see at airports: security agents throwing away life-saving insulin or liquid antibiotics because the ice pack melted. There is a specific way to freeze your packs so they pass security every time, and a magic phrase you need to say to the agent before your bag even hits the belt. We are in the final stretch, and this is where the amateur travelers get separated from the pros. We are talking about liquids. You've been trained by the TSA to worship the 3-1-1 rule. 3-4 ounces, 1 quart bag, 1 per person. You think if your cough syrup or your contact lens solution is bigger than a travel shampoo bottle, it's going in the trash. That is false. The TSA has a specific exemption for medically necessary liquids. This includes prescription creams, gels, liquid nutrition, and yes, insulin. But, and this is a massive but, you cannot just leave them in your bag and hope for the best. If you do, the scanner triggers, the bag gets pulled, and now you are that guy holding up the line while an agent rummages through your underwear. You need to use the magic phrase. Before your bag enters the tunnel, you look the TSA officer in the eye and say, "I have medically necessary liquids in excess of 3.4 ounces." It sounds simple, but verbalizing it changes the interaction. You are declaring it. You are taking control. You pull that clear bag out of your carry-on and place it in a separate bin. By doing this, you are signaling, "I know the rules, I am hiding nothing." They might swab the bottle for explosives, but they won't confiscate it. Now, let's talk about the temperature trap. If you are traveling with insulin or biologics like Humira, you need to keep them cold. So you pack a gel ice pack. Here is the physics problem. Ice is a solid. Water is a liquid. Slush is a problem. If your ice pack has started to melt by the time you hit security, some overzealous agents will classify the slush inside as a liquid. And since that gel isn't medication itself, they can technically confiscate it if they are having a bad day. The workaround? Freeze it solid. TSA regulations state that if a liquid item is frozen solid at the time of screening, it is treated as a solid. But honestly, I don't like relying on physics to go my way in a hot airport terminal. The better move is to buy medical-grade cool packs that are clearly labeled for medical use. Or, here is the ultimate hack. Carry a Ziploc bag full of frozen peas. I'm serious. Frozen peas hold cold incredibly well, they conform to the shape of your bottles, and if TSA gives you a hard time, you can dump the peas in the trash and just refill the bag with regular ice from a soda fountain once you pass security. It's low-tech, but it's fail-proof. Okay, let's go to the darkest timeline. Despite all your prep, the clear bag, the doctor's note, the carry-on strategy, something goes wrong. You are in Bangkok or Barcelona, and your medication is gone. Panic is your enemy. Here is your emergency protocol. Step 1. Do not go to a pharmacy. In many countries, pharmacists cannot fill a foreign prescription, and they certainly can't diagnose you. You will waste hours. Step 2. Go to a hospital emergency room or an expat clinic. This is the shortcut. Hospitals are used to international travelers. They have doctors who can write a local prescription that the local pharmacy will actually honor. It will cost you a consult fee, but it's the fastest route to legal drugs. Step 3. Call your embassy. If it's a controlled substance or something rare, the U.S. Embassy usually has a list of English-speaking doctors and can sometimes guide you on how to replace critical medications legally. Step 4. The insurance clause. Most people buy travel insurance for lost bags. You need to check if yours has medical assistance or concierge services. The good policies don't just pay you back. They have 24/7 hotlines that will literally find the pharmacy for you and arrange the replacement. If you travel with life-critical meds, do not buy the cheapest insurance. Buy the one with the concierge. Flying with medication doesn't have to be a gamble. It just requires you to stop thinking like a tourist and start packing like a diplomat. Keep it in the original bottle. Keep it in your personal item. And never, ever let it out of your sight. If this video saved you even one headache at airport security, hit that subscribe button. We are building the smartest community of travelers on the internet, and I want you in it. I'm Kaka, this is Cost Kaka, and I'll see you in the next one. Safe travels.